Hey folks, I'm Vainglory and I'm back with some Steel Division. So you probably know that I had quite a lot of Steel Division on the channel when the game came out originally. But I ended up, I don't like RTS games at the heart of things. I don't like all the fast-paced click and, oh, what will I bring in next, all that sort of stuff. I'll much prefer a considered approach to games, taking time to think out tactics and orders. So when I was playing Steel Division, in the end, it was played at the slower pace. It's about 1/3 speed, I think. I was pausing the game when I felt like it to think about orders. So obviously can't do that sort of thing in multiplayer games. And I felt at the time that in order to put stuff up in the channel, it had to be a head-to-head battle. I don't know why. But anyway, Steel Division 2, I decided I'm going to run through the campaign, the Army General mode, and I thought I may as well try and make some videos out of that. So similar sort of format to what I would do before. I'm going to fight the battle and then I'll record 2 or 3 runs through the replay and stitch together a video. Same sort of format as the Anatomy of a Battle. So I'm going to have a run through here and try the Bobruisk campaign. According to the text, this is one of the least complex campaigns. So I'm playing as the Soviets, and what I'm going to do is play through the battle and then I'll record the replay, almost a bit like I did with the Anatomy of a Battle series that I did for Steel Division. Right. The first Belarusian front's offensive against the southern flank of Army Group Centre has broken through the German lines on both sides of Bobruisk. Remnants from the 35 Corps and 41st Panzer Corps are surrounded within the city. When Hitler finally authorised the garrison to attempt to break out and return to friendly lines, the front line had moved 40 kilometres, held only by a weak screen of security units. However, the Germans have dispatched the 12th Panzer Division piecemeal to Marina Gorka to meet the Bobruiskers halfway. The Soviets' 9th Tank Corps and 1st Guards Tank Corps are doing their best to reinforce their thin cordon of troops who intend to keep the Germans encircled. Your objective is to capture and hold Marina Gorka in order to completely seal the pocket and deny the fascists any possibility to save the Bobruisk's garrison. Beware of the latter. Even mauled, 20 Panzer Div still has claws and might attempt a breakout in your rear. Okay, so I'm sure it said in the description of the campaign that this was up until the 2nd of July. But we've got until the 4th to take Marina Gorka, which is here. And the Germans are trapped there. Okay, that was a fast zoom. So it's Germans and partisans. Okay, so I think I want to seal off that road just to completely isolate them. And suppose we start pushing towards Marina Gorka. We've got plenty of time. We've got a few days before we start pushing in that direction, I think. So let's get our partisans contributing. I don't think I want to fight with the partisans, to be quite honest. So let's have you just come up here and you can act as scouts for me. You can maybe move back here a bit. You come up there. Right, okay. You guys head over here. We'll pull you back up. You can watch this crossing. On both of those crossings, actually. And you head up there. Move in there, actually get a better view of that bridge. Okay, these troops here, I think we'll send you up to there. Guard the flank. I'll have you come up here. These guys, I think we'll probably just leave you where you are, or up in this area. We've got, what's that? 13th Guards Motorised Battalion. That's recce troops. Let's bring you to there, I think. So on that railway. And we'll pull you in there. I wonder, do I want to attack them? I might do that just now. But down here, let's have you move up. See what we can find. 20th Panzer Division. So let's have you shift to there. You sit on the road. Self-propelled artillery in behind. You go in there and you come onto this flank here. So they might try to push out that way, get us in a pincer. If they do, then we sweep up in behind them from there. But I don't think they will, because we'll just be chasing them down. So we've got recce troops here. Let's get you up. Let's see what we can see. I think we'll try and pin that unit. Fighters, bombers, let's get you guys to target them. Okay, and you move just a bit further forward. And then we'll bring up infantry to there. I suppose I want you heading up here. I did say I wanted to cut that road, so you can go and do that. We'll bring the HQ up to there. We'll get more infantry up. And you, I suppose that's as far as you can go. So you move forward again. You can't get in here. So stay where you are for now. The fighters, let's get you flying air superiority over this region. And I think that's us. Yeah. Okay, so let's end the turn and see what the Germans do. Okay. Good to know. Okay. I think you stay there, you stay there. Move down here. Right, you sit there for now. Let's have you move up here into the woods. No, I didn't forget. I moved down the last time out. Down here. Well, I guess we want to make an attack. So we'll do that. We'll attack here, draw their attention. We can attack here as well. Fighter regiment again. Let's have superiority. Can we squeeze? Yeah, so that just about covers all of our frontline units. So let's have you fly there. I think we'll start off with this attack down here. It looks like a fairly weak unit. As in, I don't think it's got much armour. No. So let's have you come up and bombard. Or do I want to try and pin something else? So just come up and bombard them. And then down here, you make the assault. Well, it's woods, I suppose. We've got T-34s. All right, and here. 42s, alright, okay, so some mortars, right. Yeah, well, I think we'll make the attack with infantry because we'll be able to call these guys in as well. So, new attack. And we'll have you. We should overwhelm them quite convincingly. Well, let's play with the 16th Guards Tank Brigade and we'll fight the battle. So the Germans are bringing in some reinforcements in Phase B, Panzer Recon, and some infantry it looks like. And here's our battlefield. So over on the left we've got a hill, and I've been assigned the left hand side of the battlefield. So I think the plan for me is going to be to advance up the main road and the railway there that run in parallel. Have my main force, my manoeuvre group will be there, and we'll have some holding units just to keep an eye on the high ground. Maybe put a couple of tanks up there to try and interdict anything that comes in on my left and moves towards the main road. So, to start my advance, I've got some recce units ahead, a couple of recce sections and motorcycle sidecar, and then we've got some dismounted infantry and a couple of T-34s. So I'm going to move up to this station here, get the recce teams to check it out. And if it's clear, then we'll push up towards the edge of the forest there. The recce sections are moving through, and it should be clear. It's so close to my starting positions, I don't think the Germans can set up there. They'll be in the woodlands up ahead. In fact, there's a unit just appeared. So as we move through the station, the T-34 is engaged by an anti-tank gun. Pull the tank back, but with the rate of fire of the gun, it's a small caliber. Move the other tank up on the left hand side and do the same sort of thing. It takes hits, so pull it back and just try and get the recce troops to engage the gun and pin it down. It's probably 45-50mm caliber, judging by the speed it's shooting at. And I bring the other tank up in the middle in the railway tracks to engage it again, and immediately it takes fire. It's not taking any serious damage, but there's always a chance that somebody might be killed. So on the left hand side, I'll start to move that tank forward again, and as it gets into range, its companion gets in a good shot, takes out the gun. So there's still it's a Panzer Grenadier Führer unit there, and the recce troops are enough to force that to fall back, and then the tanks between them wipe it out. So we can push up now towards this forest, and I'm going to get the recce troops to move through it, move everything else up to the edge, and I've got a command T-34 coming in to support them. One of my recce units up on the hill is engaged by another anti-tank gun, a small caliber, and destroyed, and another unit over in the far left is engaged by infantry up on the hill behind the village, and they're taken out as well. So the recce troops are taking a beating already. So I'm bringing in a infantry section to join an anti-tank gun in the forest in the far left, and I've got two T-34s up in the hill to keep an eye on the open ground. Over in the centre, on my right as it is, we're moving to engage another anti-tank gun and a recce section that are pushing into the woods. I'm going to keep one of the recce sections moving forward through the woods. Everything else back here should be more than enough to deal with the Germans that have appeared. The anti-tank gun is again small caliber, it attacks the infantry but it's taken out quickly by a T-34, and the recce section is then overwhelmed by fire from everything else that's converging on it. So I reckon the woods are now cleared. The Germans will have to be bringing in more units. On the high ground, I've got my T-34s trying to engage the anti-tank gun in the distance. And again, it's a small caliber because it's not even trying to shoot at the tanks. And I've got my own anti-tank gun going up there. I'm going to leave the anti-tank gun to cover the open ground and move the tanks forward. Another motorcycle sidecar comes in, trying to get eyes on this anti-tank gun. Anti-tank gun sees them first and they're wiped out as well. So overall, my allies in the centre are pushed quite far forward. There's leaving a salient in between us. There's some wooded areas in there that I'm pretty sure have got Germans in them. But over on the left, we're pushing forward quite well. And this wood is now completely cleared. I'm moving the T-34 command tank over, and just as we do that, we spot some Germans in the woods. Fortunately, there's plenty of Russian infantry coming up that road, so hoping that they're going to be able to wipe them out, the Germans. Allow me to continue. But they've got two sections in there that are now engaging me, and I'm trying to move this section up into the farmhouse ahead of us. But as they break cover from the forest, they're fired on by the Germans and completely eliminated. I've got some reinforcements from my allies arriving on the left, and I've also got a T-34. So we're going to go up and clear that high ground now. T-34 can sit back and lob some high explosive up into it while the infantry pepper them from closer quarters. I'm pushing some of my infantry over to the right, just to keep an eye on that wooded area. I still want the ally to clear it out. I'm not going to cross the open ground. But I'm moving the tanks up into the open ground in the centre there. They can keep an eye on the reinforcement point to the rear, and also lend some support across to this forest. And I decide to bring one of the T-34s back to this farm, so that it's closer and can provide more direct support. There seems to be quite a number of German units in that forest, so I don't want to be overwhelmed. But I doubt they're going to try and cross that swathe of open ground there. My allies continue to push in, but there's clearly still units, plenty of units in there. The front line marker was going down so slowly, so there must still be 2 or 3 units that I can't see. T-34 helps to engage the unit down at the southern end of the forest, and it's taking some fire from my own infantry as well. Up on the hill, in the high ground, there's an anti-tank gun over in the distance, so I pull the T-34 back because I think it's a Pak 40 that's over there. It gets a couple of shots off at the scout car, a couple of glancing hits, but not enough to do any serious damage to it. But I still order the scout car to move into cover as well. I've got some infantry over on the far side, so I decide to send what's left of this recce section up, and they can get a first assault in the gun. It turns to face them, manages to get a shot off, and the splinters take out a couple of infantrymen. But they and one of my allied infantry's units manages to attack the gun with satchel charges and wipe it out. So my recce sections and my T-34s are now up, got good vision on the reinforcement point. There's some ASUSTeK troops up there. There's not a huge amount coming in, so the tanks turn and give their attention back into that forest that's got the German infantry in it. And they both engage the infantry from range. Another T-34 there. I've been moving that up towards the reinforcement point. So I think that there's enough down there to deal with the Germans. There's plenty of infantry coming in from my allies. So we're pushing the Germans out of that forest now as well. And the far left in the high ground, I've got an infantry section chasing off the German infantry. That's eliminated. I think it was a shot from the T-34 that got them. So now I've got my T-34s and some infantry moving up forward in the high ground, as well as the troops over here from my colleagues. So we're moving up towards the next reinforcement points over in the far corner. There's still plenty of Germans moving around up here. I'm a bit concerned about the anti-tank gun there in the forest, but we're engaging the bulk of the reinforcements that are coming in here, and they don't have an awful lot. It was a Panzer Recce section that they brought in, but most of the armoured units are half-tracks with assault guns mounted on them. So I'm still keeping my tanks back at long range. I don't want any lucky shots or unlucky shots doing too much damage. So I'll pull the tanks back a bit, but they're still well in range of the Germans. And there's the half-track up there on the right with high explosives, but they're not doing any damage to us. And we've got some infantry up in the hills on the left to deal with anything that comes down there. So we really are pushing them back. We destroyed that half-track. They've got some anti-tank units coming in, and they finally brought in a Panzer, I think it was a Panzer IV, up to the left of the buildings there. So the tanks have engaged that. But we've pushed right up. They've only got 4 victory points left, and although there's plenty of time left in the scenario, there's not enough time left for them to fight us off. So the battle comes to an end at this point. Quick run through the team's stats. It was a major victory, obviously. We had 22 kills, only 5 losses. So I am a major defeat for the... and that's a Panzer division. Yeah, I'm much more conservative than the AI is. In terms of our kills, a couple of Panzers. So they did have some armour that turned up late on, but for the most part we're fighting against leader units, a few anti-tank guns. Something that was a bit disconcerting for me was not having any artillery at all. I had 3 battalions of tanks, so I think there's about 50 to 60 tanks available to me. Not too much in the way of infantry. Yeah, so most of the losses were the recon vehicles. Okay. Good stuff. So that was enjoyable. Extraction report. So we lost 0.06 against 0.92 in terms of infantry. Nothing in armour from 0.44. Okay, further details. We lost 3 soldiers. That was one of the motorcycle recce units. And that was it. 3 soldiers. Okay. Okay. So, the attack goes well there. Push them back in disorganisation. I didn't even bombard before we went in. Must remember that in future. So, it'll be interesting to see if I push up there and I bring in units from the other side. I guess that will be from 2 different sides of the map. But we've got them with the back to the river. And this is our only real route out just now, but we're heading up to cut that off as well. Okay, so that's the end of part 1. I hope you'll come back for part 2. Please leave me a comment, rate this video, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and I hope to see you again next time. Cheers.